Good afternoon, everyone. Today is November 18th, 2025. The time is 4:50 p.m. And I am calling this special meeting of the Urban Renewal Agency into order. This special meeting has been called to order so that we can consider and vote on a resolution for the Urban Renewal Agency to purchase 2 fire engines on pumpers on behalf of the city of Mount Vernon to go to the fire department of Mount Vernon. These 2 fire pumpers trucks are coming from our Sourcewell cooperative vendor, which has already gone through procurement through the Firematic Supply Company, which is on New York State contract. We did purchase back in, I believe, 2020, several engines, and then pumpers, and then in 2022 and maybe 2023, we also purchased ladders. And these replaced pumpers and ladders that were over 20 years old and that were not functionally operating with any consistency. And we have to continue to replace these. The 2 pumpers that we are replacing right now, I believe, have over 20 years of service, and it's costing us more to keep them in service. And when the role of the fire department is to protect people and property, we have to make sure that when you turn that engine on, that engine can move, because a fire doubles every 30 seconds in size. Fire doubles every 30 seconds in size. And so we have been able to locate through Sourcewell some pumpers that would usually take about 18 months
24
to 24 months to be configured and built. And we're expecting these pumpers to get to us, I believe, before the end of the year or the first week in January. And so we have to move on these before they are not available.
And I've been told that they will not be available if we do not move within the next few weeks. So
That's like 48 hours.
yes. So can we take a roll call?
Yes. I just wanted to notice the purpose of the meeting.
Is there a call to order?
Roll call. Well,
Okay, roll call. Chair Patterson Howard,
here.
Vice Chair Brown,
Here and remote.
Treasurer Sproul,
Here.
Assistant Treasurer Morton,
Here.
and Member Johnson.
Here.
The first item on the agenda, the only item on the agenda is the purchase of 2 fire truck pumpers for a total of $1.799 million. For the record, we went out and looked at 3 different companies. One was called Gabriella Trucks, where the total was $1,794,000, but it would take 24 months to receive them. The second one was US Fire Trucks, which came to $2.2 million. And these 2 trucks were through Sourcewell, which came to $1.799 million. There's a couple of reasons why we need to purchase these trucks sooner rather than later. One is that we have a timeliness problem on CDBG, and we need to get our funds spent before June. So the 24-month, which was the least expensive, would have been an impossibility. We would have lost funds. The second is that we have a familiarity with this particular company through Sourcewell. We've purchased their trucks before. We already have 2, and we're comfortable with them. The third thing is that these 2 trucks have all of the things that we needed for the trucks to have. Our fire scope was exactly the same. The next thing was that, of course, this did not take 18 months to do. So based on that information, I ask that this board consider purchasing these 2 fire trucks out of CDBG funds, miscellaneous years between 20 and 24, for a total of $1,799,500. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2025-17.
Second?
A second.
On the question?
So just a quick, just make sure I understand. So the
Mhm.
money for this is, of course, coming from CDBG,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And being paid directly by URA or,
It will be paid by the URA, and then the city council will need to accept the vehicles,
So
is how the process
So
will
what
go.
we'll do is we will purchase, the URA will purchase the vehicles, and then we will write a referral through the office of the mayor to the city council to accept these vehicles on behalf of the city so that they can be utilized by the fire department.
And according to the company, and I just spoke to them yet today, again, in this email, these trucks will be available within the next month, in December. So,
And I want to say that we were looking and we've been looking for some alternatives. We had an emergency. We did go out to Yonkers and we have a pumper right now on loan from Yonkers. Yonkers purchased some new engines and pumpers, and so they were able to loan us this one, but we have more than two trucks that need to be replaced, and so this is why this is so important right now. And the fact that we're going to be able to get these in a month to 6 weeks versus 18 to 24 months is going to be critical, because I don't think the old pumpers that we're using right now will last that long. And you don't want to get behind the eight ball. Also, this money is coming from really the monies that we had initially allocated towards the repair
of the fire.
of the fire stations when we were talking about the Section 108 loan program, and we were approved, and we were one of the only communities in the country that was doing it, and HUD was really excited about it. But with the new administration coming in, they've spoken to the fact that, CDBG might be cut drastically, or CDBG would be reimagined. And so in order for us to pay the Section 108 loan back over the 5-year period, we were dedicating our 5 years of CDBG allocations to the repayment of that Section 108 loan. So we decided not to go with a package like that, but to go year to year. And I'm glad that we did, because here we have kind of this unforeseen emergency. And while we are still very committed to addressing the conditions of the firehouses, we have spoken extensively with the fire administration and just as extensively with the union leadership of the International Association of Firefighters, Local 107. And, they have agreed and said to us that we could sit there and fix the firehouses, but if they don't have equipment to go and fight fires like these fire trucks, pumpers these carry 700 gallons of water on them. Right? They have 700 gallons of water at least on them. They get to the scene of the fire, and then they're hooked up to the fire hydrants, and the water continues to flow through them. And so oftentimes when people see fire trucks pull up to a fire, you can already extend hoses and start fighting the fire before you even hook it up to the fire hydrant, because this is the source. It's the initial source to put out the fire, but then it is the source through which the water from the fire hydrants flows through the trucks to fight the fires. We don't connect a hose directly to the hydrant. We connect the hoses to the fire truck, the pumper, which is connected to the hydrant. So these are probably, one of the most critical pieces of equipment that you could have in a fire department.
So we have a motion and a second. Can we call for a vote?
Sure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And all those opposed? Okay. Ayes have it.
Did you hear an aye?
I didn't, but I didn't hear an opposed either.
It was the eye.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I did have one other item because we're having this meeting to discuss with you. I was online today with the county's Continuum of Care program. We have 69 households that we support through a voucher program where we help them pay their rent. And it looks like that one of the new projects of HUD is to cut out supportive services. So an example might be we have a senior citizen on a program who might have mental health or substance abuse or just physical needs. Now those people will have no help after 2 years. The COC is cutting 70% of their budget. We get 1.1 of it and about $60,000 of admin. So we will now have about a $300,000 commitment to these families, and we have to decide who will be on, who will be off, what's happening moving forward.
So it's going to be about an $800,000 loss of funding annually that we use. Right now, we're supporting about 100 families through this program.
It's 69 to be precise.
69. So if we it's 69 families. And, based on potential initial projections, if we're only able to serve 30%, then that's 21 families. And that will leave 48 families. 48, yep, 48 families going forward without supportive housing and resources. Now, just so you understand, Continuum of Care is the same type of subsidy as Section 8. The difference with Continuum of Care is Section 8 for people who were homeless and disabled. So Section 8 is usually for working families, maybe some single parents who are taking care of children who are disabled. But Continuum of Care is for even the more vulnerable population who have been chronically homeless, who have had a hard time for years maintaining housing, and who have a mental health, a substance abuse issue, they're a veteran, or they have a physical disability, or they have AIDS, right? So you're talking about cutting 70% of housing subsidies to the most vulnerable of our vulnerable residents. And so this is a real hit. And this is not something that the city of Mount Vernon can absorb financially.
No.
It would be almost, it would be another point on the taxes since we just talked about budgets. But we're not giving up there. Our deputy commissioner has spoken with other cities, and of course, they're going to go look and see if there are philanthropies that can help provide some funding so that we could have some bridge support. Our current contract does go until August, where other cities and maybe the county's contracts are scheduled to end in February?
Some are February, some are March, some are April. We're just very fortunate. Ours it goes all the way to August.
Yeah, so our renewal goes all the way to August right now because we're in contract for that. Those 69 families are safe until August. And so between now and August, we will be working very hard to identify if there are other sources that we can utilize to extend their housing opportunities. And so we just wanted to let you know as the board and just start to give the public a heads up. We will definitely be in contact with those who are on this program, because August might seem far away, but it's much closer than we could ever imagine.
Come fast.
Yeah, I know.
Come fast.
And, you probably want to figure out what you're doing sooner rather than later when you are most likely under 30% of the AMI in the county. And, you're making $1,000 a month in disability and you now are losing your only option. So it's a very bleak future.
It's part of the big, beautiful bill.
It was part of the big, beautiful bill.
Part of the big, beautiful bill.
It was beautiful.
that people continuously want you to ignore, right? And this is not even about being political, it's about reality. This is what has been signed into law, and it is being executed, and it's being rolled out. And, we can say we ain't worrying about certain things, but it ain't about where them fans at, it's gonna be at where am I live at, right? And those are the hard conversations that we have to have. And we also know going forward, that even Section 8 has been limited now to,
That program's not gonna last much longer.
Hmm?
If the
Yeah.
trends are here,
Section 8,
Section 8 is not gonna be.
to limit you to 2 years on housing. And people can say, how can the government do that? How can the federal government do that? They're doing a lot, and they are doing that. And so we need people to just be on notice that, whether it's tenant-based, whether it's project-based, the federal rules and guidelines are changing, and the impacts are going to be felt locally. We already see more people who are sleeping in their cars and who are struggling to make ends meet. And this is a reality, and Mount Vernon is not exempt from this reality. It's not about politics. It's about the fact that we have a responsibility, that is, we have information, that we share this information with our community, and that we work with our not-for-profits and our faith-based organizations to begin, and our surrounding communities, to identify how we're going to address these changes when they hit our community. But it's nothing that we can save people from. But we would encourage people, and this is the last thing I have to say. We have a financial empowerment center. The financial empowerment center is not about you being poor. It is about your finances being stressed and stretched, and how you might be able to make the best utilization of your limited resources to deal with your increasing expenses. So I encourage people to seek out assistance with the Financial Empowerment Center. It is a free service, and you don't want to wait until you find yourself with an eviction notice, or with a utility disconnection notice, or a mortgage foreclosure, or that your kid is not going to be able to go back to college for the next semester, to wait and take advantage. People feel quite embarrassed about having to ask for help, but when things are on the curb, that's not hidden. So we can hide it until you can't. So please take advantage of the help that's available. Thank you for the update, and we will continue to keep the board updated on these happenings. Is there a motion to adjourn? You have something?
One more thing about the people that join the 69 families. They are either chronically homeless because they just don't have income, or they have had some kind of catastrophic event that has put them in a place where they need to be rapidly rehoused. These are not necessarily the image from 1990 of people who are just taking advantage of the system. These are people who were in the most amount of need. So I just wanted to say that because it just seems like it's the right thing to say for them. So motion to adjourn.
I make a motion. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Seconds. Yeah.
Roll call, or all in favor of
All in favor?
adjournment? Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Meeting is adjourned at 5:09 PM.